Jawli Jangir from CBIT. Uh, my paper is Design and Simulation of Programmable Band Gap Reference. These are it is made by me, Dr. P. Chandrasekhar sir, and B. Kodeshwara sir. So let's begin. So before beginning how we program it, band gap reference, let us just have a brief reference of what is a band gap reference, what are different types of band gap reference, how a band reference is made, and how it can be made programmable. Okay. So this thing will come along as we go on. So based on actually when we design op-amps or any analog circuit, we generally take it for granted that we have certain VBG, some bias voltage available to us, or some bias current available to us. But that bias current or that bias voltage needs to be generated through some reference circuit. So all those reference circuits actually based on how the reference voltage, that is about whether the reference voltage or current, how it is changing with respect to temperature. Based on that, they are classified into three different categories. One is PTAT, CTAT, and band gap. PTAT is a positive temperature coefficient. Here you see the change in reference voltage with change in temperature will be a positive coefficient. So when you plot that, when you increase the temperature, the voltage goes on increasing. So at a particular temperature, you might have assumed that your bias voltage is something, let us say 0.2, but after your circuit is operated at 40, at some other temperature, it may give you some other voltage. Okay, and for analog circuits, you all know this reference voltages are very, very important. So similarly, a CTAT is a thing which has a negative temperature coefficient. So with the increase in temperature, the voltage falls. And band gap reference is a circuit which has a temperature coefficient which is almost which is almost constant for every that is for different temperature. That means you have dV by dt is equal to 0. Okay. So here, most of you we have seen yesterday's presentation on temperature sensors. So temperature sensors, the reference what they have used is a positive temperature reference, because as voltage changes with respect to a temperature, they have used it to measure what is the temperature. So based on the application, it depends what kind of reference you are using. For if you are not designing any kind of sensor, definitely you will be going for this kind of references which are band gap references. So let us see how band gap references are made. Okay. So first thing is, what are the circuits which have this positive and negative temperature voltage? If we take VB, that means the forward voltage of any diode, so that will generally have naturally a negative temperature coefficient. Okay. So VB generally, if you want a specific value, it is -2 millivolt per degree centigrade. Okay. And similarly, an example of PTAT is a difference in VB. Delta VB. If you have two different current passing through two different diodes, okay, let us assume I1 and I1 is passing there, then what happens is the difference between these two voltage, because VB, how is VB related to IC? You have IC is equal to IC naught into e power VB by eta VB. If you assume eta is equal to 1, then you have IC is equal to IC naught into e power V by VB by VD. So if you take two different if you take VB from there, VB will be IC by IC naught into log of IC by IC naught. So if you have two different currents, then VB1 minus VB2 will be your log of IC1 by IC naught minus log of IC2 by IC naught into some constant which is log of that current by this current, which is nothing but ratio of your currents. Okay. So practically the value of this is typically 0.087, it is a PTAT. So how you calculate, how you generate a band gap reference out of it? We take this VTAT, we take this negative temperature coefficient source, positive temperature coefficient source, multiply with them with some certain coefficient, such that the resultant temperature coefficient is equal to 0. So ultimately you will be resulting with this. Okay. So for a value which is -2 millivolt and plus 0.087, what multipliers you need? If you assume A to be 1, you need B is equal to 23. So if you can design a circuit with A is equal to 1 and B is equal to 23 and add those two things, you will be ultimately ending up with a band gap reference voltage. So here is an example of band gap reference voltage, the very old Wilder band gap reference voltage. Here I have not gone into the details of it. Here you have two different current sources. Okay, you will try to make this voltage equal to this voltage through a negative feedback. Okay, only when this voltage is equal to this voltage, there will be a constant supply given to the circuit, or else there will be no supply given to the circuit. Okay, so when you make this voltage is equal to this voltage, you have VBE1 is equal to VBE1 plus I into R. So in that case, I into R will be equal to VBE1 is equal to VBE2 plus I into R.
So therefore I into R is nothing but VBE1 minus VBE2. That means you have difference coming across here plus VBE. That means you have added VBE and difference. Therefore this voltage, whatever you are going to get is a what you call a band gap reference voltage, which has zero temperature coefficient. Okay, so this is how generally you make a band gap reference voltage. So here M represents, as I was saying, log M. It is nothing but the ratio of currents passing through this transistor and this. If your these diodes are unlike, they are not similar. If this transistor is larger by N compared to this transistor, you have log M into N. Okay, if both the transistors are same, then you have just log M. Okay, so yeah, ultimately when you take this band gap reference, when you design band gap reference with that particular values, you will be ending up with a V reference of 1.225 volts. So you cannot, the problem is you will get this band gap reference only for a single voltage. You cannot have a different voltage out of it. Okay. So but what we are designing, what is programmable band gap reference? Programmable band gap reference is a circuit which gives you a band gap reference voltage, which is, that is a voltage which is constant with respect to temperature, but whose value can be changed digitally. Okay, so this is what we want to design. So what are the applications? Why we want to design it? Because earlier in the previous session of this Primacia, that was previous version, Primacia 2013, I have presented a paper with on programmable op amps. There I was using a programmable, that is a programmable bias current. How will I generate the programmable bias current or bias voltage based on these circuits? Programmable band gap reference. So that is why this is one of the intention I have gone into this particular thing. Okay, so let us see how to make it. If I simply, the simplest way to program band gap references, I will change this M value. But then if I change this M value, ultimately what happens is you will not be ending it up with 23. You will be ending up with some value which is net, which is not equal to 23, which means your this temperature dependence will not be equal to 0. Therefore, your source will not be a band gap reference voltage. Okay. So here, so this is the results you are going to get. For is equal to 23, you will get a band gap reference. For a value greater than 23, you will end up with VTAT. For value less than 23, you will end up with CTAT. So I have proposed a method here in order to get this particular voltage. My method is you use a programmable PTAT with the reference voltage. Okay, programmable PTAT, and we use a programmable CTAT, and we just average the currents out of them. Okay, and we generate such that this current, that whatever values of different values produced by PTAT, different values produced by CTAT, those values will have a temperature coefficient equal to 0. That means you will have different values coming out of it, but all those values will have a 0 temperature coefficient. Okay, let us see how it is possible. Mathematical proof is, see, from PTAT, we know it is, we will multiply that particular reference with some fraction. So even the dV by dt gets multiplied by it. So let us take another C2, CTAT, which is multiplied by another fraction K2. When you add them, when you take average of them, you will get half of V1 plus V2. But when you take this thing, okay, because this, okay, here you substitute K1, your V1 by Vt is nothing but K into V reference, K2 into V reference. Now you get, so here is some value you are getting here, and here is the temperature dependence. So if you make this K1 equal to minus alpha into K2, that means if you make these two constants equal to 0, then you will end up with a what you call band gap reference whose values can be changed, okay, by changing K1, K2 and so on and so forth. Okay, right. So how to get a programmable PTAT? Because programmable, we got a PTAT and CTAT there because they were naturally available. You have a diode there, you have a difference between diode currents, so that was naturally available. So how to generate our own PTATs and CTAT with different values? We will use the same circuit what we have used again. So in the earlier circuit I have shown you this. I have shown you this result. When you try to program it, when your value exceeds 23, it will be a PTAT generating different PTAT voltages. When your value decreases below 23, it generates different CTAT voltage. So this is nothing but it is acting like a programmable PTAT. Okay. When you take about this region of the graph, it is acting like a programmable CTAT. By changing the value of coefficient, you are able to get different CTAT voltages. So we will take two versions of the band gap circuit what we have used earlier. Okay. So here is a different version of the circuit I am using. I am not using the Widler current mirror because it uses a comparator and an op amp to control, which makes a bulky circuit. So this is another circuit which is proposed by one of my references. I will let you know. Okay. Here the advantage with this circuit is here the ratio doesn't depend on the current. Not only depend on the current ratios, but also This it also depends on R2 by R1. So therefore you need not supply a huge current onto that particular transistor. Simply by choosing R2 and R1 and with a little difference in I1 and I2, you will be able to generate different reference voltages for different what you call reference that is temperature coefficients. Okay. So if I change this value, so based on R2 and R values of R2 and R1, I can either make this circuit have a temperature coefficient greater than 23. Okay, have this not coefficient or this constant greater than 23, or I can make this, or by changing that particular transistor, I can have that transistor that constant less than 23. So I will have a PTAT as well as CTAT coming out of it. So ultimately I will be averaging them. Okay, so this variable resistor, I will be using this circuit for varying my resistance. That means resistor is parallel with MOSFET. Whatever resistance, if I want to change the resistance, I will just switch on the MOSFET so that effective resistance will be these two values. Okay, so, this is the same old circuit which I have used in my previous paper. Right. So this is the simulation I have done using cadence. Okay, this is for PTAT, programmable PTAT. As you can see, if I change the values, of the resistor, I will be able to get different what you call voltages. Not only the voltages are different, but their slopes are also different, which means their dV by dt is different. Okay. Similarly, these are the values I got through it. And if I take a programmable CTAT, okay, this is the values I am getting, but voltages are different as well as the slopes of them are different. So when I average them, okay, you get almost what you call constant, which is again I believe that they are not perfectly linear, but they are far more better than these cases. Right. And one more, so these are the values I have listed here. Right. So this is my conclusion. So ultimately we were able to implement this programmable bandgap references, and the results show that the approach gives a reference which can be programmed for different temperature stable voltages. One variation I have done here. The thing is here in the equations I said K1 plus alpha times K2. So that means if I have used a multiplier along with the second circuit, that means I should have used some multiplier along with the second circuit. But here when I implemented it, you generally don't see a multiplier coming with the circuit. Okay, directly two circuits are there. And they are averaged. So here what I have done is I have chosen resistors such that R1 that means this K1 is equal to K2. I have made alpha is equal to 1. So I have eliminated alpha from there. So if you don't want to eliminate alpha, you can have this circuit made with a different value of K2, with the different values of K1 and K2 which are not equal to each other. Then you can multiply this K2 value using a multiplier. Then if you do that, probably the slopes of this curve will be almost constant. Okay. So that is one variation you can do for achieving a better result out of this. These are the references, and that is the circuit I have used here. Okay, this circuit, actually how this circuit works is, here you have a VBE1, VBE2 and a resistor. When you do a KCL, you have VBE1 minus VBE1 plus VBE2 plus I into R1. So I into R1 is equal to VBE1 minus VBE2. So the voltage drop across this resistor is VBE1 minus VBE2. Then you have I, current will be equal to VBE1 minus VBE2 divided by R1. But as you are using this cascade current mirror here, the same current will be flowing here. So that current when it flows here, it will give you a voltage. Voltage at this point will be equal to I into R2 divided by I into R2 plus VBE1. So you have a VBE1 plus I into R2. As we all know, I is nothing but VBE1 delta VBE divided by R1. So you have R2 by R1 into VBE1, delta VBE1. So R2 by R1 into delta VBE1 plus VBE1. So you have a CTAT plus a PTAT. It works in that particular fashion.
Any questions, please?
Sir? Of the MOSFETs. So these resistors I have chosen these values to be very large when compared to the on resistance of MOSFETs, so that they don't affect this thing. It is in kilo ohms, sir. 50 kilo ohms, I suppose. 50 kilo.
50K.
Right. So that is when if you see from manufacturing point of view, there is one more problem. Actually, this paper here, the first reference suggests that I should use transistors whose bases are grounded, but I have not done that here. I can do that. I can use that particular circuit, and even I can use that circuit and make it programmable. But I wanted to make it simpler. I wanted this presentation to look like your Miller, what you call, band gap reference. So I have made that slight variation from that band gap reference what he has shown, and here. So he has actually used grounded resistors. This resistors actually is coming up.
The reason for that is that those bipolars are manufactured in standard CMOS process. And Professor Franco Malapati's paper is still one of the best repair papers on band gap. First thing talking about.
That is the best of it. That is what I said. If you go from manufacturing poverty, there is one more error I have in my paper. That is manufacturing point of view.
You need additional masks to get this total bipolars.
Sir?
You need additional mask.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
So, what is the variation? How much variation you can get in the reference?
Yeah, here I have plotted in the table.
It's 1.2. And the slope correction, can you adjust the slope with trimming? Because you are getting.
That is what I said. Now, if you want to adjust the slope, you have to multiply it. I have tried to make K1 equal to K2 so that I simplify my work for me. So if you don't want to simplify the work, if you want to make it more complicated because you want a better result, then you can go and implement this equation. Okay, the equation which says K1 and alpha K2. What I have done